All right, so we have come to the final project of this class. And when I say the final project, this means that everything from Unit 4 to Unit 8 is included in this project, okay? So there are going to be 2 additions to the project, which I believe are pretty simple, and they're easy points to actually garner from the Unit 8 project. So you'll have the conclusion as well as an abstract. Okay. The conclusion, at least 150 to 100 words. So in the conclusion, this is like the conclusion if you were, composing just a regular essay minus the literature review, excuse me. So it's your position. You're reiterating your stance on the issue, your arguments. Okay. You are transitioning into your final thoughts, and you are leaving the audience with something thought-provoking to think about. So this conclusion, unlike the conclusion for the lit review, for those of you who decided to add a conclusion for the lit review, this conclusion is not argumentative. I mean, it is argumentative, excuse me. The conclusion for the lit review was pretty much a summation of the research itself. Okay. Then we have the abstract. Usually an abstract is 150 to 200 words, nothing more than 200 words. I don't take off points if it's a little over 200 words, but the abstract should not be, lengthy. It's a restatement of the controversy. Now, unlike your introduction, the abstract, because I know a lot of students are going to ask the difference. The abstract is an overview of the entire project itself. All right. So you might mention what it is that you're arguing, but you're pretty much providing the audience with a synopsis of what the project is going to be. So you're going to restate, whatever the controversy is. You might want to include the thesis statement, and reasons, for, adding the, thesis, or providing why, you are researching this particular topic, and then, conclude out with a final sentence. The abstract is on the page by itself, so it comes after the title page by itself, and abstracts are not indented. So here is a macro look at what this entire project is going to encompass. You have your title page, APA format. We are on the 7th edition. What that means is that your header only includes the page numbers right aligned. Okay. Then you have the information centered in the middle. We'll go over that once I pull up the example paper. And then you have your introduction, lit review, body paragraphs, conclusion, reference page. Now, all of these need to have level 1 headings. All of these qualify for level 1 headings. Within your lit review, you should have level 2 headings as well. Those are subheadings that you are discussing based on the content itself. Okay, and I'll, go over that again when I pull up the example paper. All right, so now when you click here, the example paper should come up. Some students have contacted me in regards to some of the links not working. Now, I did reach out to my faculty lead to see if there was something or a bigger issue going on here, or if it is isolated to certain students, maybe not using Microsoft Word or not using Google Chrome. Now, even in saying that, I do question why there are Word docs here versus a PDF or just a link to a document. So if you are having an issue opening this document, the Writing Center also has an example of the final project. The other units were not like this. So this particular unit, I'm unable to enable editing. you know, to give it a different view, more of a print view of the document. So I'm assuming there is something going on with the actual download itself. But again, I am looking into the issue because I can't navigate this like I want to. So as you can tell, if the enable editing is not activated, you know, I can only see it in this view. But I'll just run through this, the abstract itself again. And then you have the title of the paper. Now, if you want to, under the title of your, the main title, you want to provide introduction here under that title, then that's fine, because at least it lets the audience know that you are now in your introduction. And again, the view is off here, so you don't see the page breaks, okay? And it's moving rather slowly as well. So yeah, I'm looking into this issue. But, you know, as I'm scrolling here, or at least trying to, let's see, scrolling a little bit slow. Review of literature, that's a level 1 heading. And then under that, you have your subheading, a level 2, which breaks down what that particular part of the lit review is going to discuss, okay? This is why headings are extremely important, for projects of this magnitude, okay? Because it guides your audience and it guides yourself as well in terms of where you are at in your document. Now, as I'm going through this, as you can see, we have in-text citations here, and we have synthesis of research. So synthesis of research, what I mean is you are pretty much having a conversation with sources. So Edwards and Zoltan, you know, McGrath, these are different sources discussing the same idea of pesticides. This is extremely important as you are getting ready to revise your lit reviews. Some people are still working on that synthesis, and this example is really good when it comes to what a synthesis looks like. You cannot just depend on one particular source for each paragraph, because now we're not having a lit review. A literature review synthesizes different sources and bring those ideas together when it comes to whatever category of discussion that's being discussed. Okay. There are times where, you know, you might just have one source, but do not make that a habit within each paragraph. So this student did a really great job in terms of synthesis, in terms of making sure the paragraphs were closed out, you know. So while of course we need research in the lit review, we also want you to provide your own analysis, you know, of what the paragraph is saying, you know. So a summation of what was discussed in that paragraph, and that's why it's important to have those closing sentences. Okay, you know, so this is a really good example. I find this to be one of the best examples I've seen in a long time. And I like it that it's not this example created by faculty. This is by your peer, you know, and this is really important because it shows students that, yes, you know, the experts are not the ones writing this, you know, faculty, professors, we're not the ones writing these examples. Students are, your fellow students, and that it can be done. Okay. And then for your, body paragraphs, you can again use the type of format this student includes, where the student puts their title and then they put a colon and then my argument. You can just put body paragraphs. Whatever the case is, you are to have a level 1 heading before your body paragraphs so that the audience know that these are your body paragraphs. Remember, your body paragraphs, those are your arguments. That is the biggest difference between the body paragraphs of the argument versus the body paragraphs, because they are still body paragraphs in the lit review. And your lit review, the lit review focuses on the research. It's not argumentative. You are not taking a position yet. You are focusing on the pros and cons of your topic. The body paragraphs, they are now, or your final body paragraphs, should I say, they are now your argument. This is where you are trying to convince the audience that your side of the topic, your side of the spectrum, you know, your perspective is stronger than the opposing. Okay. Now, while you don't have to have an opposing view per se in your body paragraphs, it's still important to have a strong argument, because there are times where I am going to ask students, you know, can you elaborate or make this argument stronger? Okay, and then your final conclusion there, again, level 1 heading, and then you go onto your reference page. All right, so again, I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I do want to note that this reference page, the websites right here, this is incorrect. So keep up with the CSU Writing Center links in the Writing Center. The APA 7th edition no longer includes retrieved and the dates of retrieval. All you need is the URL. Okay. So I have to point out those things when I see errors, even in the examples.